Good morning, everybody. I, if anyone's there. We've got a shoulder to make. And I've got foam. Finally. Oh, I ordered it over a week ago. And it's only just got here. Yesterday night. I wanted to do this yesterday. And it didn't turn up until like 8 o'clock last night. So here we are today. If anyone's in the chat on any platform, because I'm on both YouTube and Twitch, let me know what the audio sounds like, because I think I found what was wrong on my last stream. I think the cameras were picking up audio at the same time. It could be my laptop, possibly. So yeah, if it sounds funny, let me know if anyone's there, because right now I don't actually have a way of seeing if anyone's there unless they chat, so that's fine. I don't mind. Today we're gonna, let me see if I've got this right. Is it this one? No, I'm not gonna be right back. This one. There you go. Right, so as you can see, those are the templates. That's the 3D model right there. And I've got all the parts from the last one we did. Let's get him out. There we are. That's it attached to the bicep. So we're going to make another one of these. I'm just a bit gutted that this bit is down a bit. I think I can probably split the back so it sort of goes like that, a bit more equal. But it's just, as you can see, is floating downwards. But that shouldn't matter too much when it's on. I think you're going to have it like on your shoulder like that, and it's not going to... I'm talking directly to Tommy, whose suit this is going to be. I have to grab the helmet because it was inside. Well, there's the other bicep that we're going to stick on. There's the helmet. Quite proud of this. And like all the, it looks like dodgy lines because there's a lot of pen on there from stuff I was trying to do, and I didn't end up doing, and I ended up cutting differently, like on that side as well. But I'm really proud of how that's turned out, and I've managed to get like all these little details going, and like the little circles and these pipes and stuff. Yeah, and the little, those things. I can't even remember how I did that. And the notches on the top of the helmet there as well, these things. Like, I'm really happy with how this has come out. And I can't wait to get this to you, mate. Again, I feel like I say it ad nauseum. I'm really sorry it's taken so long, but here we are. We're gonna get it done. We're gonna get it to you. Yes, right. I'll put this somewhere. Oh, and if you just bear with me, I'm going to turn the light on as well, because I just realised how dark it is down here for me. It looks fine for you, but it's a little bit grainy on the camera, and that's because it's fighting for light. So give me a more. There we go. It's so bright outside, I forgot to turn the lights on. So here we are. Right. Foam. We need foam, don't we? Luckily, I've got foam. Oops. Smashing into everything. I'm so excited. That made my gums peel back a little bit. Right. I'm trying not to cut, like, there's a bit of sort of cellophane wrap around it to keep it in place. I'm trying not to cut it all because it'll just unravel and go all over the floor. Right, I'm gonna cut a strip off. Oh, I can't believe it. Just get the right size, so we're not gonna cut too far through. There we go. Right, okay. Here we go. First cut is the deepest, according to the 80s song. 90s? Never mind. Right. One. Can't believe it. We got, right, I'm just going to make sure we've got a long enough strip for that. So, yep, I want it about here. There we go. You might be able to see in there that I've had to get black skinny stuff, the skinny foam. I'll put it to that camera. The skinny squishy foam that I use for like undersuits and stuff. I normally get it all in white, but the prices have gone up dramatically for the white foam. So I wanted to continue with the hard stuff like it is, but I couldn't afford to do both this time. Bummer. Right. Here we go. I'll put it that way around, I think. I'm just going to put all the templates down. I think, didn't I have to do like a thing last time? I did, didn't I? Yeah. That's alright. Right, okay, where are we? We've got that one. That's this one here. I'm sorry, hang on. Here's an idea. Why don't I bring you in on what I'm doing? Right, so that's that one there. And we only need the one of those because we're going to flip it. So that's this here. And then we've got the two parts there that are one on here. And then where's this thing? Oh, that's what I'm doing. Right. So I don't need to do that twice, thankfully. I need to do this bit twice, this bit once. I also need to cut at an angle because this part is missing right here. And if I don't cut it at an angle, it won't meet this bit. Right. How did I do the... Oh, yeah, that's it. Excellent. On the other part there, at the top, you can probably see there, I actually just measured an extra amount of foam. I tried to measure the distance between this part and the little... square, for lack of a better term, and I managed to get it right. So yeah, that's what we're going to do on here as well. I'll try and repeat that process, but for now we'll do the parts that we know are just going down as they are, like this bit. Whoop. It's a lot easier than last time because I'm not using scrap pieces and I'm not having to worry about spacing things and and all that stuff. We can just get it straight on and it'll be fine. So that's that one. I'll do that with that last because we're going to do some calculations for those bits. Now, this bit will be a bit of a challenge. We just need to get these bits lined up and try and get the angle right. And there. And then... and we go here. And there. Because it's like, it's angled, so it's a bit of a thing where we're just having to squash it down and pray. Oh no. Right. Try and line that up and make sure it mates. There we go. Right, now fully squashed down. I'm going to do what I did last time and use the solid parts because this bit is in two pieces, like most of the way down, so it's sort of making a strange shape. So we're just going to do the inside bits and then get the ruler out, and you'll see what I mean. There. We'll grab the ruler and just make them meet. Matchmaking. Line it up. Oh. There we go. 1. And 2. Ta-da! Right, now, this. It is in fact this way around, isn't it? But let's see. No, it's this way around, so to make it make sense in my head, even though these are upside down technically, I'm going to do it this way. I've got like loads of space between everything, so I want to try and do it in such a way that we're gonna, you know. Right, I'm gonna just get it down for now, and now, what I can do. It seems silly, but I'm going to do it anyway. Is it in settings or is it in one of these? I can measure between. There it is. Measure between distance between 2 points. So from here to here, we're looking at 1.8 centimetre. Is that right? 1.8? I think that's right. Like, no, it's 10 mil. 10 mil is a centimetre. But then it's because it's got 3 digits after the centimetre. That's I can just do it as a centimetre, can't I? Because that's pretty much what this was. Yeah. Pretty much 1.1, but in the corner it's 1.4. That's interesting. So 1.4 for the top end, and then by the time we get down to the bottom, we're looking at 1. Right. Okie dokie. Right. That's important so that we get like a feel of, because I'm cutting at an angle on the end here to make sure it like goes inward and meets this guy. So that's what we're going to do. And I am only measuring that out so I leave enough space if I'm bunching things together to try and keep them, you know, keep space. Then what I'll do is I'll bring the other side in instead. And I will finish the line because I'm going to be following it. And we'll bring this one in as well. Oop. There we go. Right, now, I'm going to do a similar thing with this bit. And 1 to there is 9.838. So I think that is just about a centimetre, so we'll measure out a centimetre. It's close enough. And I'm going to pop them down here. So we'll end up with all this as spare, and that can be used for something else. I need to bring it down a little bit just because, there we go, right. I'm going to go all the way around it, like so. And then we'll get the ruler and just measure out a centimetre all the way along. It probably seems a bit random the way I'm doing it, but I'm just putting them like everywhere. So I can just simply line them all up and go like that. And then roughly, what did I do last time? I think I just sort of guessed the angle and it worked. Right, so we're looking at just a slight angle on each side. I'm sure there's a way to be much more precise with it, but I think we're all right. Although I do think the line I've made ever so slightly wonky, so I'm going to try and, yeah, that marries up a little bit better. Right, okay. Let's get them all cut out, I suppose. Just have a quick look at the template, make sure we know what is what and how we're doing cuts. So we're looking at, we want a slight angle on the big one at the top with the cutouts. We don't need an angle on that, and we don't need one on that, but we do need it there, obviously. And this one's straight cuts, except for that bit that we've measured out that needs quite a sharp angle, because it's going to meet there. Right. We know what we're doing. He says. Right. I normally start at the bottom and work my way up, but I think I'm going to just get the big chunk out of the way in the middle here, and then that's done, and then we can move on immediately. We actually don't need these templates anymore, so I'll stick them down there for now. I'm not going to bin them just yet in case I mess up and I have to redraw some of them. But looking at the angle, like so, it's not too harsh of an angle, but it needs to be there, so I'm just tilting the blade a little bit. It's better to do too little, and then I can get my rotary tool out and shave off a bit more if it doesn't line up properly. There we go. And obviously it's just straight cuts from everywhere else. Helps if you do them in line. There we go. And this one. And there it is. One piece out. And we're doing straight cuts on all of these, so we can just get on with it. Vertical. There we go. Last one. Watch out, you. There we go. There we are. Oh. I didn't quite get to the bottom over here. There we go. Right. Apart from that bit there, you can see he's just got like fibres hanging off the bottom of it. It's quite a clean cut, that is. Not bad, that is. Not bad. Right. Let's see how this sits on it. It could maybe do with a bit more of an angle. I'm not sure. Let's see. Oh, no, no. No. That's not too bad, actually. Once it's sort of in shape, that's about right, I think. Once you press it together, and that's about right. It's almost exactly the other one. So those two are fine. My eyeball. I'm going to cut the little middle part out first. This one. We just want straight cuts, straight vertical cuts up and down. Actually, before I do, I'm going to make sure this part of the other one is separated because it's quite close. A bit closer than I would have intended, to be honest. And then got the bottom there. And we need an angle for the top, so aiming in towards the shape itself. There we go. And just need to have a quick slice down here. Quick slice. I'm just going to move this out of the way while we work on this. So, there we go. Now, because you can never be accurate with the way that the blade hits the bottom, you can see that's gone down at an angle, and that side is more or less completely vertical. You've got to be careful with how you line up your cuts. So what I do is I just see where the line is and make a little nick on either side, and then just aim for it. And you don't really have to do a very deep cut either if you're going to do something like this. In fact, only about halfway down. If it's a 10mm, just aim for 5 and then just bend it and let the foam rip itself. If you can. I've done it a bit shallow actually, so we'll just cut a tiny bit more, and then you should end up with that, and then that's going to meet with this, like so. I think I'm gonna have to chop a little bit more off. I might not have been as liberal as I should have been with the angle, but I'll probably get the rotary tool out and do it properly. We'll see. Right, so that's, I think we can consider that bit, you know, successful enough. It's going to work. Right, now for the complicated bar stewards that are these bits. Now, as I said before, most of it is just vertical, so we can just get them out. So that's it done, except now we need to cut away from the shape to try and get those parts to line up and meet the rest of it. So I'm going to do it really harsh, because again, it's better to do like when you're facing away, it's better to do too much of an angle, because then you can shave it away if you need to. So that's the plan, is to be as flat as we can be without, like, oh, yeah, like that. And then I'm going to peel it out. And then also, you're left with something like that you could then use, I mean, that's upside down, but you could then use to sort of have something to stick to it as well. So like once you've bent that over, you can have more of a lip to stick on, rather, and you've got so it goes on like so. You just have to line up the corner at the top there, and then you've got that shape that you wanted. And in this one, there is a line. Where are we? Just here, right there, that we need to replicate. And that is why we keep the templates. Because obviously, we've got the line on the template. I don't know if you can make it out. You can't? Right. That's fine. We can just... Basically, we're just going to stick it on the top and try and... Where's my pen gone? We're dropping up. There it is. Right. We're going to line it up. I just described all that without actually showing you, didn't I? Needless to say, the line is right there on the template, so I've just drawn like a straight line so we have it on the bottom. And then it's even worth doing it, because it goes down to the corner there, it's even worth doing it down here, because you've got this, which when you flip it over confuses the whole thing. You think it's longer than it is. But there we go, we've got a couple of markers. Now, the reason for all of that messing around is we're going to do almost exactly what we did with the other piece, and do like a shallow cut, and just simply aim for the two notches that we made, and we're going to just bend it so it breaks itself there, like that. You've got that on the front. We don't want to, please don't, you know, that's the mantra, is please don't rip. And we're just going to cut a tiny slice out of it, like so, and then you end up with that, which you can't see. Now there you go, you've got some shadow there, look, and you end up with that, which is a decent bend. And then of course when you line it all up, it can still bend around backwards, and you've still got it. And I definitely need to sharpen the angle on that, make it a lot less. I need to make it a little bit more steep. But I'll do the other one first and then compare. Because I think if I do the other one, I'll probably get it right this time, and then I'll be able to line it up and replicate it. So we're not going to go quite as angled. We're going to bring in the angle just a little bit. There we go. Right. Ooh, move out of the way. And vertical cuts. There we go. And there we go. Right, that looks a little bit more like it actually. Let's see how it lines up with this. A bit better actually, I think. A little bit better. I'm not sure how I did this before, but it seems like it's a little bit, like it's not quite as, like it doesn't want to marry up quite as well as on this side as it did on the other. I may have made it too short on this side. What does one do? I've got a couple of options at this point. I could slice right through and just get rid of this bit and make it as a separate piece, which I'm inclined to do at this point. Yeah, let's just do that. It's fairly simple. Done. And obviously we've got all these long strands here that we can just use. I'm going to find the longest part of this bit because that sort of, it makes sense. I think we said a centimetre actually, so we'll do a centimetre, and we want it to be definitely this length, so the length is correct. We want that, so I will just mark out where it's going to be lengthwise. So I'm going to do the shortest part first, and then from there we're going to mark a centimetre exactly. On both. I'm then just going to do a straight line across on both those dots there, because at this point we're going to work out how long we want it to be, but we need the width to be right. That was because that was the problem, wasn't it? So yeah, the bottom is there, and how long was the top? Let's see. It was exactly 6.5. So if we put the half point there and the beginning there, so there's that to that. It's just about right, and then obviously let's measure up the bottom as well, and then we'll be able to line it up properly. So that's 5.5. So why don't we put the So that's right, but we might not be at the right angle, that's all. So we might have to move them original dots just over a couple of mils, like so. Line up the two measured dots that we've made, like so. There we go, it's more or less right. So that's what we've ended up with. Doesn't look right. Oh no, right, okay. That's because I've done it the wrong one, but that's even worse. Oh no, right, okay. But that would make it more of an angle. Yeah, and the angle doesn't want to be that deep. It's like, okay, I'll try and deepen the angle on this side without cutting away from the bottom too much, and then we'll hopefully, let's figure it out by doing, just cut it. There we go. Right, now I'm gonna cut away from the shape on the bottom, just so we have something to stick down, like so. It's not too bad, it's not far off, and we can still move it anywhere we want, really. And then we're gonna angle in along the top. And mind my thumb. Right. There we go. Right. Right, okay. So we've got that. Let's pop this in the scrap pile for now. And if this is about the right angle already, I'm inclined to just glue it down and just go with it. Yeah, it's probably about right. Now we need to do the thing we did. Just need to line up these bits, and we're gonna do exactly the same as we did before with the line there. Just do your best to aim for the bottom. That's about right. Just a shallow one. Rip out, let it rip itself. And which end did we? Yeah, we did. Right, okay. And just take a strip out. Again, you try not to cut to the very bottom when you take your strip. And then you get that. There we go. Okay. That's that. I just need to. I don't know which way to go about this. Like, I don't know. I don't know where to start. I think maybe I haven't turned the glue gun on. Oh, I didn't turn the glue on. We're very clever, aren't we? Oh dear. We have notifications. I wish it would let me stream to my Facebook channel as well, page, because there's a lot of people on there, and you know they could join in. We could all be chatting together. It'd be nice. I like the idea of no matter what platform you're on, you can join in and ask questions and stuff, and we can talk and chat and things. It's nice. I like it. So I mean, it's great that I'm able to be on both platforms right now. But I want more. Right, these things go in at an angle. And the last time I did it, I cut it all out and then sliced and put it back in. I think I'm just going to do it the same way for continuity purposes. But in future, I think what I would do is cut around the part that is going to be the inside, and then I'd flip over and do essentially exactly what we've done there and take a slice out and just bend it. In future, I may do that instead if I make these again. But we're just gonna go for it. So because it's a surface one, like it's on the outside, you've got to be really careful. And yeah, oh, there we go. There we go. Right. Yeah. As you can see, I went upwards with the knife so I could get right up to the edges without splitting any foam, and I think I was successful. Yes, I was. Right, which way do they go in? Do they face inwards? They do face inwards, right, okay, so looking at it like that, we now just need to take a tiny bit of an angle cut inwards. Really doesn't have to be much to get the effect we want, and then we'll be ready to just drop it back in and glue it down accordingly, because the bit that we've taken away we can just glue directly on to in that gap that you see in there. We can then just squish it down, and then you've got that, so it's facing inwards. I don't know if you can follow what I'm doing there, but it doesn't matter. Right, we're not going to do that just yet though, because I want to get the other one out first, and then we can glue them both together. So here we go. There we go. Yeah, so my pro tip is to cut normally until you get right up to the edge of the line and go straight up and down, and almost use like a sawing motion until you get to exactly where you want to be. This bit here is almost exactly the width of the blade, so I'm just cutting down and then going straight up and down, and that seems to work. Another pro tip, you may have just seen me do it on the other one, is for when you pop these things out, pop them towards the back, not the front. So if you're any little stray bits that are still attached are going to go pop on the underside where it doesn't matter. Look at those little bits of stuff, and if you pulled it out the front way, it was likely to come forward, so you're better off doing it this way. Right, and I'm going to try and mimic the angle that I just did. Alright, here we go. Ooh, there it is. And there we go. So, right, we're ready to glue those in, get it shaped. Have we got heat from the gun? Yes, we do. Right, well, not really. It's getting there. Right, okay, we're gonna... Just thinking the best way to do this might be to go in from the front, so therefore I'm going to glue as close to the edge as I can on this. Oop, not that close. just on the outside, which is the angled part, and then set it in almost straight, so it drags the glue down with it, and then we're just going to push it in. So the glue comes out the back, and it's created a gap. I didn't want a gap, but I've got one. It's fine. It's all right. Okay, and then the other thing we're going to do is we're going to just pile a load of glue in this like crevice that we've got on this side. And just a tiny dab on the top and bottom. That should do it. I'm even going to add a tiny bit to the bit we've just glued. But that should hold it in place if I squish that together and blow. Ugh. Yeah, so we just need to let that settle for a bit. And in the meantime, I might start on... I'll just leave that upside down so it settles without incident. And then I'm going to try and set this on. Let's see. I think it needs to be at a slight bit more of an angle than I've cut. Which is fine. No, I'm not going to cut it. I'm just going to glue it, and then we can have it at the bloody leaky glue gun. Right. We're going to just put a nice, healthy, thick river of glue along the edge, along that line. And then we just line it up. I'm going to leave it at quite an extreme angle for the time being, and then we can always push it back because it's, it is foam at the end of the day. We've got a certain amount of malleability that we can work with. So that's almost 90 degrees, and that's fine. We're not going to need it to be that. We'll be pushing it back a bit. But again, like I say, it'll bend. We'll be okay. So just want to make sure that line along there is lined up, and then everything else will be fine. Okay. Let's get some glue web out of there. Just going to leave that stood up like so. Let's see what we're doing with this. Yeah, that's alright. And we'll do this side now. More or less the same. Get a thin layer of glue, well, not a thin, a decent layer of glue along the angled bit. And we're just going to, got a bit of a glob there on the outside, so I'm going to drag that in with us. And squish it down now. Just get that line lined up because I wasn't as careful on the other side. And then flatten it. Flatten that bit down. Ooh, I'm stuck. Just trying to get that line lined up with the outside so it's right. And then we can do the same again. Now, the reason I'm doing this before I stick anything together, thank you for asking, is because when it's in parts like this, like, I mean, it's obvious to me, but it might not be to other people. When we've got it in bits like so, you've just got better access to everything. So it's nice and flat. And if we were to put it together, we'd be working with it at an angle like that, and it would be difficult. So there you go. Like I say, it's obvious to me, but I understand that it might not be obvious to everyone. So might as well say it. Not everything goes without saying, does it? Right, I'm going to glue these bits in. I don't think I'd normally glue them in place, but I'm going to this time just because I want them to be the right, more or less exactly the right shape that we want before we start adding the parts in. And so we're going to stick all this together because this is the bottom, and then we're going to build on it. I'm going to add that on top, and then we finish with that one. And then we've got a shoulder, and then it's done. And it's barely taken an hour. Yeah. But now I'm waiting on. I messaged him last night because I needed the next thing to do is the forearm. And I messaged him last night to ask him if he'd send me a measurement, just elbow to wrist, that'll do, like what you got, sort of thing. And he was like, oh no, yeah, I'll do it when I get home. I'm sure someone's got a measuring device, I think he said. And that was at like 2 a.m. my time, and he must have forgot. So I'm gonna message him again and remind him, and then hopefully we'll get that measurement, and that means we can go straight ahead, and I can do another couple of hours with you all, and we can start making a gauntlet. Start making the old Halo Reach gauntlet, and it's all nice and standard, generic. We don't have to worry about it. It's marvellous. Yeah. I'm really happy to be back. Genuinely, really happy to be back and doing this stuff. Just gonna slice a tiny bit off the bottom here. And then we're gonna smooth it out. Right, if you can see, I'll do it here. So that's what we're looking at. We've made a line there. So I'm going to smooth that line out. There we go. It's not the strongest multi-tool. What do you call it? Rotary tool in the world, but it does the job. And thanks to that thing, that's what gets me all those cool circles on the other bits of armor and everything. Oh, I know what I did last time, and I'm going to do it that way because that worked really well. We went straight on and glued it all flat. Oh, there's an outward angle going on. What's... Oh no. It's not all the way along. No, that one's fine. Yeah, that one's fine. I've gone and slightly angled out on that side. Right, I'm going to glue this side in then, and then I'll rotary tool the other side in, so it angles inward a little bit, just so we end up with like a flat thing like that. Un momento. Running out of glue. Right, okay. I'm going to put a nice healthy amount all the way along up to that little cut and angle we made, because this is all pretty much straight until we get to that bit, and then we need to bend it. So we'll just try and get all of that. I don't know if you can make out, I've just sort of made one thing and then one glob of glue, and then tried to flatten it out as best as possible. I'm meeting the outside of it first, and then we're going to try and just squash it inward without letting too much glue come out. Let's see. Oh no. Oh dear. Oh, there we go. Right. And I'm also trying to bend it at the same time. Because like most of the shape will be dictated by this piece, but if you can bend it a little bit as you're gluing it, while when something's supposed to be curved, it helps. Oh, it's not. Oh, there's a gap right there. I'm sorry, Scottish viewers. That's a terrible, terrible accent. Right. I'm going to have to do a cardinal sin, and that's glue from the outside to try and make it work. And you shouldn't do this, really. Because you just end up with glue mess everywhere, and then paint has trouble sticking to it, and blah, blah, blah. But if you are clever at it, and you do it in just the right way, you can stick your thing back together and then peel the dry glue off. I'd cross my fingers if I could, but I'm holding this together now, because there was a gap on all the way around the outside there. Okay. Moment of truth. I think we're going to be left with a bit of glue residue, unfortunately. But it might be something we can peel off later, actually, when it's... Yeah, I'll leave that, because yeah, I think we can get that when it's really, truly solid. I've got another opportunity to do this end bit here, because we're going to do the angled bit, so that's alright. And... there we go. Got what could be an important message here. There we go. Right. Sorry, this is important. I'll tell you what. I'll have to make a phone call. So, look at that. Be right back, everybody. I won't be long. Just kidding, I wasn't talking. I'm being silly. Right, back to it, ladies and gents and others. We are looking at... just bloody smudged pen on it, so that's going to look great in the pictures, isn't it? So, that's one side done. Now, we're going to try and... It's only sort of like a rim on the bottom. Like, I don't even know if you can make it out on camera. It's, yeah, there's just like an edge. So, we'll smooth out that edge. Oh, there we go. Right. Okie dokie. Does that look better? Good. And then, yes, that lines up quite nicely now, doesn't it? Much better. Okay. Right, we're going to do the same again and do this long bit first. This nice big long glob of glue, and then spread it out. Probably a bit closer to the edge this time, so I don't end up having to do another cardinal sin. The cardinal sins of costume building. And there we go. My word. Communications. Communique. Right. I'll try and be a bit more close up with you this time so you can see. And I'm trying to get a nice angle on it, line up the edges, and just squish the glue to the back a bit whilst lining up and getting it to sit right. There we go. And there we go. Now I'm just going to hold it like this for a little while. And hopefully we're not going to have to glue the edges again. Fingers crossed. Because that would be a nightmare, mate. You know what I mean? And I went, and it caught my throat. Very nice. Right. Get rid of that now. Don't need that anymore. We don't need any of it anymore, actually, thinking about it. Because we're just about done. And that's fairly solid. I think that's gone alright. As you can see, I'm probably happier than I was with this side. And we've got a lot of glue we need to get rid of on this side. Which I can't actually get my bloody hands on to get off. I wonder if I can... Seems a bit silly, but I wonder if I can slice it flat to the... It's worked a little bit. There's still a lot more. I might rotary tool it off, to be fair. So, we'll see. Right. We're going to do what we did last time. I'm going to bend this over so it's out of the way so we can get to that bit and glue on... What am I looking for? Glue gun. No, that's a bad idea. We need to do the exact opposite. Otherwise, we'll end up with glue all over the outside, and we don't want that. That's the sin. That is exactly what we don't want. So you can see I've got a nice glob of glue along there, and we're just going to wipe it on both sides and then line it up. See, because I was a bit more successful with how we lined up the this side, I've been able to be a little bit more standard, like how I would normally do it. So I do that wiping thing so that it gets right up to the edge of the outside without actually coming out and ruining everything. So, oh my word, right. Glue webs everywhere. Now, this little guy is going to sit on the top and squish in there once. I'm going to let this dry fully so it's solid as a solid thing, and then that'll do. Right. In the meantime, let's have a quick tidy up of this glue on the other side with the rotary tool. Careful. Right. Doesn't like glue. It's a little bit more tidy, and yes, look, all the glue bits are rubbing off now, so that's alright. Turn that off. Right. Are we a bit more solid? Yes, we are. Right. So now this can just... I'm going to shove this in first, and we're going to glue that, the top. It's going to stick out a bit, but we don't care, because we're just going to go thump like that once this is nice and solid as well. Now, how are we going to get that to not... Don't want it flopping. Right. Okay. Once again, we're going to glue right up to the edges. Just a tiny bit, but we're going to really hammer the glue on in the middle. And we're going to go right up to the edges again. A little bit. There we go. I don't know if you saw that. I'm sorry. I sometimes lose concentration and forget to hold things up to camera. Right. Outside in. Outside first. Line up, line up, line up. And we just need to push it apart a little bit. There we go. Okay. I'm going to let it stick out as much as possible just so that this line stays together. That's imperative. But it looks like we're also quite nicely stum. What's stum? No, stum is quiet. Keep stum. Yeah, we're quite flush to the line here, so that's quite good. There's a tiny gap, but that's neither here nor there. It's this bit that matters. And we've got a nice gap here that we can exploit to bend it back once that's done. So at the moment it's like a very dangerous skate park over here. So we need to line that up. What are we talking about here? Okay, right, great. Let's... Okay, it's nice and solid. We're now going to be able to just get this glued right along the edges. See, there's not going to be a lot of surface contact, so the best thing to do really is to just overdo the glue. Is how I like to do it. Just get a huge amount of it, like much more than you really should, and I'm going to put a little bit in here as well so that it glues the edge. And then we're just going to push it back to where we want it. Wipe a little. There we go. go. One successful side. Gonna let it be as solid as possible before we crack on. If anybody's in here, can you let me know how my audio sounds? I asked this at the beginning of the stream, but I've forgotten about it, and I should be asking fairly regular in case people are dropping in. If there's anyone dropping in, let me know how it sounds. If it's echoey, let me know if there's like an echo, please, so I can try and sort that out. I think I did it. Because I did disable the audio on my cameras, but just stuff does what it wants, doesn't it? So if it's coming through and you can hear it echoey, please let me know, and then I'll try and sort that out and get it done. I'll try and sort it out. All right. Yeah. Right. Same again. We're gonna put far too much glue on this. Nice little glob there. Far too much along the edges. There we go. And we're going to do the wipe where we wipe it on to the edge there so we can make sure it absolutely stays right there. There we go, right. Get rid of all this excess. There we go. Ugh. Bit of extra glue there, but there we are. There we are. We're looking good. Look at the shadows hitting the thing like that. That's cool. Did I do? Let's see. Did I? I did. Right. I was thinking about it, and then I just thought, like, you know what? Yeah, do it. We're gonna carry on these lines all the way up from here, like so, and cut away a little bit just so we can have just a tiny bit of we're going to have a tiny bit of an angle on this as well, so it fits with the angle of that a little bit more. So once again, we're just going to slice away a little bit of thingamabob. There we go. And I'm going to go from the outside because that's what I did with the other ones at the bottom there. It's not going to fully line up because of the fact that we've already glued the other bits, because I forgot to do this before we stuck it together. And there we go. And we should have that nice, let's see if I can get the shadow on it, but you can see at the top there where the angle is, so we'll have that nice angle all the way along. And yeah, just a tiny slither is going to do it, because the effect is just going to be mildly visual. And it's one of these things that like cameras pick up when you're taking photos, and I've said it before, but like, let's face it, that's what this is about, isn't it? We do these costumes so that we can take photos, and then we share the photos. We take photos with people that are fans of whatever we've built, like Halo stuff, for example, or Batman, whatever it is. And if you go to a con, people want to take pictures with you. And my suits, I don't think look very good in real life, but once you get like a camera on them, that's when they look really good. So that I am happy with. I'm happy that it's they photograph really well. Right, okay. Here we go. We don't need to glue those bits like we did the bits down the bottom there. We can just leave them as they are. And we're going to line up the edge exactly and do maybe about 1 inch worth of gluing. And then just do it bit by bit. I'm going to start at this end, get that solid, and then we're going to skip over to the other end. And that informs the shape, you see. We get like the shape that we want out of it. And yeah, right, here we go. So just about 1 inch right up to the outer edge if you can, and then drag it back. There we go. And then, as you can see, I'm sort of lining up the outside first before I push it back and squash it onto the rest of the glue. Try and line up the edges on the outside in particular, and on the end. So let's see. Squish. So that's what we're doing. We're holding. Another pro tip is hold for as long as you can. Let the glue set. Patience is absolutely a virtue when making these things. And it might be where I succeed where others fail, is I'm willing to sit there for ages just going like this. And yeah, and not a lot of people not a lot of people want to do that. I'm going to do a slightly shorter area of gluing on the opposite side here. No, actually, no, I'm not. I'm lying. I am full of it. I'm just going to do exactly the same, more or less. I don't even know why I started saying that. What a stupid thing to say. Right, try and bend it into shape. Get the outside first again. And then we're just going to line it up. Whoop. Oh, I let go. See, that's the very thing I said that I don't do. And there we go. We've managed. Just want to... Okay. Right. Okay, we've got both edges. It's looking good. That's like the shape we want, more or less. And I think we're going to try and bend it round as we're gluing. Unfortunately, the nature of how you do these things is you go. I always go edge to edge because then it informs the shape. And then you have to do the thing where you glue from the outside in, and that's always something I hate doing, but it's really necessary when you're trying to do something that's angled like this. So go a little bit further this time, and pull it apart just so I can get the edges first and squish all the glue backwards. As we do. I'm just going to pull it around a little bit so we line up the edges a bit more. And obviously I'm pulling it round to much more of an angle than it's actually going to sit, but the foam is that tough, it's quite tough stuff, so it always pulls back. That's why you need plenty of glue, and to hold it for as long as you can to get it in place. Right, I'm going to stop fidgeting now and just let it settle. A bit of glue on my finger, that's annoying me. Oh, sensory overload, right, okay. Get that off. Oh, that's better, right. Now, it's attached to my other finger. Right, here we go. There, I squished that right down to get that, and it's pinged back out. So it's going to end up exactly how we want it. Now, same again on the other side. I hope. Let's see what happens. Right. Here we go. Edge first if we can. Oh my god, right. There we go. Okay. Right, I've spread the glue sufficiently. I just don't think I've got it right to the edge, unfortunately. And it might be too late to do so. Nope, that's alright, actually. It was squishy enough. We're okay. Overbend it so it can ping back. So we're using simple, like, actual EVA foam, like the floor mats and stuff. You can get something angled, like a ball or a plastic dome. Get your heat gun out and just shape it. And then it stays in that shape and it's nice. But this craft foam reacts to heat differently. It doesn't... It tends to bend while it's hot, and then once it's cooled, it starts to... whatever shape you've made, it starts to pull away from it. So I found to just do things like this, like over angle it, glue it, and then let it ping back. And you get a shape you want, you know? And then obviously the template you're using has a lot to do with it. And of course, angle cutting things to match what you want it to do is also massive. That also helps a hell of a lot. Right, now we're just going to do a short bit up to the line that we cut in the back earlier. Here, put a tiny bit more glue in though, I think. There we go. Right. Okay, once again, I'm going to over angle it. Try and get the glue up to the edge, but not out. There we go. Right. Sorry, I was thinking about 6 different things there, like tools and and stuff I need to move around. I'm doing movie night with my daughter tonight as well, so I was thinking about that. What we're going to watch. Yep, that's right. I'm doing The Sin. Just a tiny, tiny bit of glue to push into this gap that I have created through my own silly sausage ways. There we go. Marvellous, isn't it? Yes. just going to do the same on this side, obviously. There we go. Right. Okay. Just to inform anyone that's actually watching, after this, I am going to take a tea break because I'm British. And I'm going to see if Tommy gets back to me with a measurement, and then I can print out the templates and come back. So either way, I will be back. I'm just going to take an extended 10-15 minute sabbatical, whatever the real word is, break, and then I'll come back either way, and we'll do some chatting or whatever. Hopefully, in that time, we'll get a measurement, and I can just start on the gauntlet, and then we can go right through till about, for another couple of hours. If that's not the case, I'll come back and chat to anyone that's in. And if no one's in, I'll end the stream. And I appreciate anybody coming in and dropping in and saying hi and all the rest of it, because if you decide to, there's no one. I haven't got any way of being able to see if anybody's actually in at the moment, because I've not got a screen up or anything. All I've got is OBS, so I'm just controlling my camera and my microphone and stuff. So yeah, if anybody's there lurking, please say hi, and then I know someone's watching at least. Because other than people dropping in, which is always nice, and I like to start chatting with people and what have you. But this stream is mainly for people that commission me to make these things, so they can see where their money's going and they can see the work going into it and all that. And then eventually I'm going to move away from doing commissions, and I think I'm just going to stream building stuff for myself and making content for my pages and these channels and stuff. So yeah, I think the goal is to not have to rely on commissions anymore, and I want to build what I want to build. I've got plans for Ninja Turtles. I'm going to do other Batmans. I've actually got someone that wants me to make a Ninja Turtle for their son. So I'm just waiting on a deposit and some measurements, and then I can get to work on that, and that's going to be fun. That's going to be so much fun because, yeah, it's just I'm going to get to make, and it's like the 90s movie Ninja Turtle that they're after as well. So and that's the template that I have. Dude, I'm so excited about that. I mean, I'm literally getting Ninja Turtles tattooed onto me. So that's a cover up. I had terrible tribal rubbish on this arm, and he's put an OG turtle, we're calling it, because then it can be any. But they all wore red bandanas in the old OG comics, and then we've got a sort of a comic version of the movie Shredder, and yeah, and that's what's gonna happen. I'm a big Turtle fan, so I'm really, really looking forward to that. It's gonna be great, and I think we're done. Look at that. Side by side. It's come out quite a bit better than this one. This one's unfortunately I might just split this bit at the back here. Oh, just to free it a bit so it sticks up. And then I could also take an angle out of that and make that go down a bit. But yeah, I hate it when things aren't symmetrical. But right, okay, we're gonna. Speaking of symmetrical, I want to look at exactly where I glued this on, and I actually made some extra little bits at the back there to make it stand up a bit more, so it wasn't just taking over So I'm going to do the same again, grab some scrap bits of foam. This is why we keep these things. Perfect, right. Let's see. So if we're putting that there, we're going to need 2 bits, and what did we do? Right, we had 1 strip and then a couple of bits to meet these bits here. So if it doesn't have to be quite as wide as I did before, so if we do that, and what, think about here, yeah, there we go. And then I've got this bit here that I can just split in 2. We have that. Right. Let's do that then. A nice healthy amount of glue on that. And then when it comes to the actual gluing on of these parts, I usually like to try and do something along the lines of like Velcro or something, so you can, much like in the game itself in Reach, you can swap and change all the extra accessories and parts and stuff, and then if people wanted to come back and get something else made for their Reach suit, you could do that, and then you could just exchange them, mix and match, just like in the game. And I just like, is it just me that's exciting about for? I mean, it's a year, isn't it? It's just me. But I love that idea, and I offer it to everyone. Surprisingly, only a couple of people have took me up on that in the past. It's surprising to me, because if it was me, I'd be like, oh yeah, yeah, do that. So yeah, I was a bit sort of taken aback that I'm like I seem to be the only one that's excited about that idea. But anyway, what I've done as a result, with everyone that I've done, I've only glued it on lightly. I'm making sure that if someone does change their mind, they can just like sort of tear it off and not damage it too much. You know, about as much as you'd maybe damage something like this, just taking it on and off, which is something that happens, unfortunately, with foam cosplay in general. It's maybe the one thing that I would freely admit that 3D printing has over foam, because to me, foam, it's so much more like involved. You build it yourself. It's with your own 2 hands. It's cool. I love that. And you get to be the one, you know, you put your hands on it and you cut it yourself. You do it. And then 3D printing is sort of like, it's almost like the AI art version of costume building, because it's just already made, and all you have to do is dial in your printer settings to get it to come out well, and then sand it down. But having said that, someone has to come up with the 3D model, like the printable 3D model. So there is still artistry involved. It's not like a machine taking over a person's work. Someone works and makes those things. And then I'm assuming, like, well, no, I'm not assuming, I know, that you end up buying that. Yeah, like you buy that template and you whack it on your software, print it out, and then you spend a lot of time sanding and painting. So there's a lot of work goes into these things still. So I'm not taking away from it. I prefer this. It's more hands-on. Like, I'm physically making this. It's so much more gratifying to me, because I did do 3D printing for a while. It was something I did a few years ago, and this is just so much better for me. But the one thing that 3D printing has over it is I would say durability, because it's like a solid plastic, depending on what you use, like ABS or PLA. They're both fairly stable and solid plastics, so you get a lot of stability out of them. Taking them on and off is literally just a paint touch up if if you bash it or whatever. But it's so much more uncomfortable to wear. There's like sharp edges. Again, it's plastic. It's not. You've not got any give in it either. One thing that I would like to do though is I want to start 3D printing and making undersuits for Halo costumes. Because that's something that no one does with Halo stuff. Because it's not accessible. You can buy those morph suits with different patterns and stuff, but I like things to be as game accurate as we can. At the moment, I make the belly part, so I make a whole torso, and I make it out of like the squishy foam, the skinny squishy foam, and then from me you'll get like an entire torso to put on. Cuts down the side under the arm, and you just slide it all on, velcro it together, and that's that. So here we go. Look at this. Do you know what I might do just to give you an idea of? Oh, hang on, let's see if I can undo the pull. There we go. Right. Put it more an angle there. 2 seconds. Right. Let me move my microphone a bit. There goes all my stationery. I don't know how that happened. Probably this guy. Camera bag. Knocking things off. Right. 2 seconds. So there we have the chest. Shoulder one. Let's see if I can get it to stick. Going in there. Come on, son. You gonna see if it'll hold on to itself. 2 seconds. Right, there's one. Oh no, if I move it, it's gonna fall out. No, okay, right. Now, let's see if we can see if we can do the same on this side. Oh, there we go. There we go. Ta-da! Shoulders. All we need is knees and toes, and we've got an entire nursery rhyme. There it is. Right. I'm going to take a break, like I say, and I'll be back in about 10-15 minutes, and then we'll see where we're at. See if I get another. See if I get a measurement, and then I'll print out the thing, and we'll do another hour or two. If not, we'll have a chat or whatever if anybody's there, and then that'll be it for today. So yeah, I'll be back soon. Hello. We're back. I've had no word from my commissionee or commissioner. So that's it really today, I think. As far as actual building is concerned, that's definitely it. We've got nothing else to do because can't do anything without measurements. So yeah, that's all we can do. I'm just gonna. What we'll do is we'll play. Let's set up the print for the templates. Let's see, where are we? We want forearm foam. That's a good one. Yes, look how simple that is. That's nice. So what we've got there is the actual reach forearm. We've got all that, which is just this side. Whoop. It's all very nicely laid out for us. Who is it? Found by that guy, modified by that guy, and unfolded by that guy. Model by unknown, unfortunately. But it's good. It's a good one. I like it. So that's this bit here. That's in there. And yeah, I think the way I made it last time was I just used this part. And then I didn't bother with all these little bits. I just made this part. I used that little sort of ridge there to inform the middle here. And then I may have just guessed where that was going to be and just used the rotary tool to make a hole in it and went from there. Got these bits to make the other bit. We've got all this. This is something that sits under that, so what I would be inclined to do is just simply make that out of the thin foam and slap it on top of of something going in between those bits, maybe. Oh, I don't know, because there's loads of little pieces here and there, and then little tiny pieces that go over the top of it like that. I can't remember how I made it last time. Those two bits are together in my mind. I think they more or less are anyway, aren't they? So here's the thing. What? No, it won't. Oh, it doesn't attach. That's a shame. Anyway, right. I forgot about that. So that's that. That's the inner bit. Where's the outer bit? That's the outer bit. And then we've got that bit that is like a delve, a little notch out of it. We've got that bit which is there, which I'm going to double up and make whoop. Oh my word. Double up and go all the way around to the other side. Settle down. Mouse. Yeah. So it's like, it looks complicated, but it's fairly simple. I'm looking forward to doing it. You know? Let's see. Oh, what are we doing? Oh, God. Sorry. Naz, for those of you on Twitch, probably know Naz, just sent me a picture. She's in a Facebook group called We're All Pretending to Be Boomers or something like that. Sent me a menu, recipe for stick of butter sauce. Oh my God. Disgusting. I don't think I used that bit last time. I may have used that just to inform the shape. Thinking about it. That is the bit that goes on top. So we just make that flat. That can go straight along. And then what we're doing with this, is that on here? Yes, it is good, very good. Sorry. This is cool. I love this, like, this template is just really good. It's obviously a later template where people were actually purposely building for form and purposely, getting, making their templates to put on this stuff to do what we've just done. But like earlier models are still made for paper, and I think what people used to do was make paper models, cover them in resin, and either use that or make a mold to then make a mold, and then the mold would be the thing, if you know what I mean. It'll be the thing. The mold would be like a template to make an actual thing out of something. I don't know if they'd use resin or what. I don't know. I don't know, mate. I don't know. So I used to just make stuff out of paper and card, and then I'd reinforce it with foam. And then when I got a little bit more confident, I just full on started to do it just all foam. And there's that. I like this one because if you do it right, you can have this little sort of encased piece, and then your phone could go in there. You could be like, while you're, while you're out and about in the old cosplay world, you could just have your phone on there, and this whole thing could be like attached. You could slip it under there and then Velcro all the edges down, sort of thing. That would be really cool, in my humble opinion. But that's just me. Is things like that, like I say, those are the things that make me smile about the Reach stuff in particular, because you can do it like the game, and and then we got that's the shin piece, and they always look funny because you're used to seeing like sort of a kneecap thing at the top there, but there isn't one. Because it's Reach, they're actually a separate piece. Now the thigh, this is a difficult one to build, and also this is set really small, with like the landscape A4 is what that is, and like an A4 slice is like what, like this big. So I mean, we're talking like that's a very small thigh for like a fully grown adult man, for example, is going to need to be bigger than that. So I end up having to chop them down when I get the proper measurements and what have you. I'm hoping this is. I'm so worried that none of it's going to fit. We can't do anything about it. There's no way of knowing, if it's ever going to actually fit the guy once it gets to him. So I'm just, I always get worried about that sort of thing. Oh, see, now there's this bit's got the bits you attach, and it's a totally different model, but it easily goes with the previous one. And then what we've got here, that's that I didn't use that one for this build. Boots. See, that's one option of Reach boot. I'm fairly certain I've got another one that's a little bit better. Let's see. Let's go in the Reach armor, shall we? Let's see, where are we? Now that's that boot, okay. Did this one have 2 boots in it? I can't remember. That's got the glove on the forearm. We've got CQB armor. That's the helmet only, and then the game assets. Armor accessories. That's the one we just looked at. It might be in this one. Let's see. Foam. High waist. No, because obviously the boot's going to be the same, isn't it? So it's not going to matter. Grenada. Is it? Come on. Where are we? Shoulder, George. Like, is that the only boot I've got for Reach? That's weird. Reach Marine. Permutations. Weapons. Noble 6. Let's see what's in here. Oh. See, I was going to make a Noble 6. Right. Forearm, torso, hand plate, chest, boot. That's the one. Because it comes in 2 different parts. You've got all this, and then there's another part to it. But where was it? I can't remember. Oh, wow. Gauntlet, chest, cod, forearm, helmet, shin, shoulder, thigh, boot. I'm sure there was, like, there definitely was another part that went with this. Where would I have kept it? Right, let's just go through it. Is there a boot in this one? Helmet. The hell is HR? Helmet, okay. Yes, yes. Right, okay. Why have we got like 4 versions of the same helmet in here? Right, is it in Emil's? Shoulder and helmet. Reach files. PTO. Ah, they're 3D print. I wonder what the boot looks like in here. That I must have just made this one. I think I did, yeah. Oh well, yeah. This is what we're going with then. So it's just in the Reach armor. Cool. Okay. But yeah, it's all coming together. It's not going to take much longer at all to get this all finished and done, and then I'll be able to get it sent off. I'll tell you what I might do is put the torso together while we're here. Why not? What do you say, chat? Okay. Ain't nobody here. See that? Like, I've seen a picture of the guy and this doesn't look big enough. It doesn't look big enough. So this is something I'm probably going to end up having to redo, isn't it? So I don't think it's a good idea to make the... Oh, there is someone there. Hey! I don't know if this is such a good idea to get that glued together. I'm not on the right screen. Sorry, hang on. There you go. Yeah, I don't know. That looks like it might only just barely fit me. And the guy's... He's a big American guy. And I don't know if that's going to be wide enough. I don't know if we've got the diameter. What can I say? And then we've got the belly part as well that I like. I'm sure I measured it right at the time, but I don't, like, a long time's passed, so it could be like, While I've got someone in the chat, can you tell me, is my microphone echoing or is it just coming through normally? And just let me know, please. Thank you. So yeah, we get that in there. And hang on. Let's get you up a little bit. There we go. So we get that in there, and that's the belly and the belly in that part done. And then this slots into the chest. It's fine. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm worried. I'm so worried that it's just not the right size, so I may have to redo this part. So I may get him to send me that measurement as well. But in the meantime, I think this might fit me. So I might steal this. But I know the chest part's right. The chest part's going to fit fine. And I think my mistake might have been that I've maybe measured that up against the chest, not took an actual measurement from the guy, and that's really silly. But I can't remember what I did because it was nearly 2 years ago, and the guy's been so marvellously patient with me. CQB helmet made, ready to go. Well, ready to have its interiors put in, and I'm gonna do sort of a makeshift visor for him, because I was making like buying visors, like plastic molded visors from people that would fit this sort of thing perfectly, and it was they were looking great. They had one-way reflection and all of that stuff. It was great. And then unfortunately the guy stopped making them. So I've had to try and find another visor guy, and I think I've just found a guy that might be interested in helping me out making these things. So I'm going to get in touch with him, hopefully directly. And yeah, but yeah, I'm real proud of that. It's come out really well. Like all the little details on it, on the back and everything. Like it looks a bit messy because it's white and it's black pen marks that make it look a little messy. But once it's painted, it's going to be done. And I've used like a little lolly stick in there and cut out all these lines. And I haven't followed the dodgy pen lines that you can see there, but I've cut everything out. And yeah, and these like pipe things here, I'm real proud of those. I don't know why. And then there's those little circles at the front, and it's all just come out. It's all come up Millhouse, hasn't it? So yeah, today we've done the shoulders, and I don't think he's got back to me yet. No. So yeah, until I get a measurement back for his forearm, there's not much I can do today. Where are we? Bicep, boot. Forearm. That's not the one. That is not the one. Where did I find it? Oh. Oh, I know where I found it. It was in my desktop stuff, I think. Was it in that one? No, because that's the same. Let's see. Reach armor. That's the one we were looking in. Was it? No, that's accessories. Accessories. I wonder if it's in this one. Forearm. Nope. Oh my god, no. I can't believe I've lost it. Was it in Noble 6? Let's see. God, forearm. No. Where is it? can make a Halo helmet for cats? Probably. Yeah, you probably could. I reckon you just need to cut the tops out for their ears, because you couldn't, it'd be horrible squashing their ears down. Feel bad, wouldn't you? Yeah, yeah, you could just ears, forearm. Oh no, it's not that one. I'm doing this, and you should be looking with me. I'm so sorry. There you go. Right. So it's not in Grenada. It's not in Noble 6. Permutations, weapons, reach file. That's 3D printing. It's got to be in here somewhere. Foam. There it is. I'll just lay it down here for a bit. Oh my god. Literal panic just then. That was, Oh. Earlier on, I kicked my stationery off the table by mistake, and now all my glue is all over the floor. All my glue sticks, my glue gun. So I'm gonna have to tidy that up. Ah, dear. Yeah, I think that's all I can do for today. Really, I was hoping he'd get back to me. He messaged me back at like 2 o'clock in the morning, saying, oh yeah, I think my mum has a measuring device. Was his exact words, like a ruler, or a That's possibly right. Yeah. Um. That goddamn cat. But yeah, he messaged. He messaged. That was like 2 a.m. And I was like, okay. When I woke up, but he's in America. Like 2 a.m. will have been in the afternoon sometime, and about 7 p.m. or something over there, and nothing. He's not got back to me at all, so I can't do anything else. But we've successfully made that today. And I'm once again not showing you what I'm doing, am I? There we go. Yeah, so now we have two. Shoulders. Just need some knees and toes. And we have a nursery rhyme. So yeah, I've got them stuck onto these bicep bits. And they'll, I think, quite nicely slide on. And yeah. So I mean, yeah, we've managed something, haven't we? We've done something. And then yeah, I think I'm gonna ask him to remeasure his waist and what have you, so we can hopefully more accurately predict. Because that's the worst thing, is like you're so far away. It's not like I can go down there with a tape measure and make sure it's right or anything. So you just have to cross your fingers and crack on, which is kind of what I do in life. Right, I think that'll do for now, everybody. Thank you for coming in the chat. Lil Ms. Demonic. I know what it says. Yeah, and I've been going like 2.5 hours, and you're the only one that's chatted. If there's been people dropping in and dropping out today, then they haven't said anything. So I've just been talking to myself, which I do anyway, so I might as well do it on camera. Yeah, that's it. I will be back on tomorrow. Why not? Do you mean like why not? Why not chatting? Or I don't know. It's just been a real quiet day, and I was doing this every day for years. At least a year solid. I was doing it for like nearly every day, nearly 7 days a week, maybe 6. And there was about 3 or 4 regular people that always came in and chatted, and it was nice and everything. But I haven't done that for about 2 years, so you lose that. Like you don't get like people following you don't get notified as often as when when you go live. Why not talk to yourself? Yeah. I don't know. I do that anyway. Like I say, other people don't, because I would say they're weird. That's why. But the yeah, like it's a shame that you sort of have to start over, because there's like 58 people on Twitch following, and there's 20 something on the they are weird, aren't they? And the and yeah, there's 20 something on YouTube following as well, but none of them I don't think get notified when I go live. So it's weird. I don't really know how it works. So I think it's just the key is consistency. You have to do it every day, and you have to do it over a certain amount of time as well, which is why I'm not in a hurry to just click off. Because yeah, and then people start either stumbling across you or they get notified again, and then we'll be back where we were, which was about 5 people chatting with me and about that many watching me at the same time. And yeah, oh Jesus, there we go. I finally got it off. There was a nice big glob of glue stuck to my cutting board there, and I've been trying the whole time I've been sat here to get it off. So yeah, I think sadly that's it for today. Well, not sadly, no, because we got something done. It's been a positive day. I think it's one of them things where you start deflating because it's like, oh no, I didn't want to end it this soon. I think I wanted to do it for another hour at least, but if I don't have something to do, then it's just me waffling to no one. So I'm gonna. Don't beat yourself up about it. I'm not. Don't worry. It's more like a mild frustration, really, because, like I say, I have to rely on someone else to give me a measurement so I can do the thing. And it is what it is. I'm sure I'll have it by tomorrow, and I'll get the template printed out on me thingamy. What is that? Oh, it's a placard. Thank you, little Miss Demonic. And yeah, and we'll have that thingy for tomorrow, and it'll be done, and I'll be able to get it on my new roll of foam. Look it. And I got like the squishy stuff's coming black because it's cheaper. Cheaper than the white stuff. I like using the white stuff because I use a black pen, so you can just easy. But if it's the black stuff, you have to really, really like press down on it. It's annoying. But I only use it for the torso bits, like this. Nice little squishy floppy. So you can move your belly around and that. Doesn't it? Yeah. And yeah, because it's like drawing on paper, isn't it? And it's much easier. and then paint, and then I paint it black most of the time. But now that's coming in black, so it's it's like a deep grey, and it's cheaper. That's the problem, is that it's cheaper, and there wasn't much of a difference in price a while ago, and now there is. So I wanted to save a tiny bit of money, so I thought, right, I'm getting the hard stuff, the thick stuff is gonna be in white. It has to be, because that's what I use more than the skinny stuff, and then I suppose the skinny stuff can be anything, really. So there you go. That was a huge amount of waffling, wasn't it? Right, okay. Uh, Thank you for watching. Not really. Yes, it was. Shush. You know it was. Waffly waffle. um, yeah, thank you for watching. Anybody watching this back on on YouTube and what have you, I appreciate it. And I'll see you tomorrow. We'll hopefully get this measurement done, and we'll be making forearms. Making forearms. My Ninja Turtle looks good on this camera. Like, I always look at it from up here and it doesn't look right, and then it actually looks good from like a distance, and like I can't wait to get it finished, because it's a cover up of my terrible tribal rubbish. Thank you, yeah. And then we've got Shredder, who's pretty much fully finished. There he is. And then yeah, we need the colour on this, and we're going to go deep with colour to get rid of some of the spots we're just going to leave, because Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, spotty. And then I think the idea was we're going to do sort of a city skyline along the top of his head and go right the way around the arm with it, like a silhouette type of idea, to get rid of all these stupid things up here that I regret. Don't know what we're going to do with the teeth, because there's all those under there. I think he's just going to try and white, and then put sort of like yellowy muck, because they live in a sewer, they're not clean. And it's going to go all the way up to this terrible tribal that I've had stuff go around as well. And that's what happens when you have 180 quid and you walk into a Leeds tattoo shop with that in cash in your hand, pissed out of your head, and they just... American heroes, though. Yeah. Yeah, but they live in the sewers of New York, so you can't, you not exactly dental hygiene going on in the shit tunnels, is there? But yeah, and then obviously me alien eggs, me exploding planets. I can't get it high enough for the alien at the top, but there's an alien up there on my shoulder. Why am I showing my tattoos? That's not what this is. It's just like, I like it. It's a year old now. I've had no money to get it finished. Like, both of these are about a year old, and I never see them from other angles other than looking down at them. So I'm sort of fascinated with how they look. And I've had these years now, but this is cool. Look at him. He's so angry. Right. I'm gonna go. I think tattoos should be free, because they're basically therapy. Certainly are for me. Clearly for you as well. And like, I don't know what most people think. I'm sort of separate. And yeah, so I'm gonna call it off for now, and then I'll see all of one of you tomorrow, and then that'll be that. Well, fingers crossed for a measurement, everyone, and then we can get it done, and it'll be good. It'll be marvelous, in fact. So yeah, thanks again for watching. And thanks to those that might watch the whole thing back later on and cross finger toes. And yeah, we'll get this done, won't we? So yeah, there you go. Thank you. See you soon.